Why do some people break free from the corporate grind and some stay stuck? Imagine what would breaking free feel like. Imagine waking up excited because you love the work that you do. The money worries are gone. You finally have time to travel, slow travel, spend time with your family, your loved ones, and just be in the moment. Imagine feeling lit up by the work that you do, feeling confident, and that anxiety is gone of the next promotion, the next thing, and who's thinking what. All that is out, and it's just you and the work and the impact that you're making and the people that you're working with. It feels good. You're finally at ease. All of that imposter syndrome is gone, and you're starting to feel like you're finally on track. You're finally living up to your full potential. Now, that's the power of monetizing yourself. And I think monetizing yourself feels quite obvious as an answer, but at the same time, the reason people stay stuck is because it's so much of a big blind spot for us to identify our own monetizable expertise, because all of us tend to put ourselves down, undervalue ourselves, overvalue others, too much of a generalist or I'm too much of a specialist. We keep ourselves back from showing up as the expert that we could possibly become. And in most probability, we already are experts at something or the other. It's just that we've not given ourselves permission. So, in my last video, I talked about how to identify your monetizable expertise. We talked about two big strategies that you can use. The first one was monetizing your personal struggles or journeys that you've been on in the areas of three mega markets, because everyone wants to be rich. So, therefore, career and finances is your first mega market. Everyone wants to be healthy. So, health and fitness and nutrition and mental wellness and well being is the second mega market. Everyone wants to be loved. So, therefore, relationships, interpersonal relationships, communication is the third mega market. And if you can combine two of those, amazing, that makes it even more valuable. Now, one hack that I shared with you is your ideal client is someone who is two steps behind you on any journey that you have taken. It could be a health and fitness journey, it could be a personal finance story that you've had, or it could be something within your relationships. Any kind of struggle that you have overcome and you've spent considerable amount of time and effort and energy is something that you're already an expert on, and you are very much in a good position to help somebody who is just two steps behind you. The second strategy that I talked about was monetizing your corporate experience so far. Here, the value proposition may not always be very obvious, because when you're thinking about freelance consulting or a B2B engagement, typically it is something which is very bespoke and something that you tailor make to the situation and to your client. So, how do you go about identifying your niche here? Here's the hack. Picture a founder who is trying to build a company in within the same industry niche. So, for example, if I am working at Coca-Cola and maybe 5 years ago, a raw pressery might have been something that would fit the bill, or I was working in data and analytics, so somebody who's trying to build a business within CPG as an industry, boutique data consulting firm is something that fits the bill. So now, if you think about this kind of a founder or this kind of a leadership team, they are trying to get to a place where a Coca-Cola or a Genpact already is, without the benefit of the experience, the knowledge, the frameworks, and the resources that you take for granted in a large multinational setup. So think about what lessons and experiences would be valuable to a person like that. Start sharing that on LinkedIn or some other format, whichever feels comfortable for you. Think about it like fishing. You're putting out a hook, and whoever bites is the fish for you. And that's how you get on a call. You have some conversations, convert it into an engagement, and you kind of move forward with that. Now, I know that this idea of monetizing yourself and replacing your income, enjoying freedom of location and time is such an exciting thing for all of us at this point in time, especially post COVID. So, since I started posting and sharing my story, I've had so many responses come in and a lot of questions have come through. So, I want to just quickly thank you for all of the responses that you guys have sent me. And I want to quickly share my answers to the top questions which I have distilled. So the top 4 questions that came through was, how long does it take to build a freedom lifestyle business? Well, with the right strategies, the right mindset, and accountability, I believe you can get there within 3 to 6 months. Well, it took me a year, but it came with a lot of trial and error. Knowing what I know now and the way that I have helped other people, it's very much possible. How do you stay accountable when working alone? This is a hard one. It's kind of like you've never exercised in your entire life, and now you want to build a fitness habit. You want to get to the gym every single day. How do you do that? It's pretty much the same principle. You will join a group class, or you will hire a trainer, or you will make it easy, or you will buy a whole new wardrobe. Whatever it takes for you to feel motivated, reduce the amount of friction, prioritize this, keep yourself accountable, get yourself the support. It's the same drill. So what I did is I signed up for a group program. I learned the ropes from somebody, and then I hired a business coach for myself. And that's how I stayed on track. And because I was making big ticket investments in this goal of mine, I could no longer be complacent about it. I mean, I've already put in $2,000, or with my coach, I had put in $6,000. Of course, I'm going to make it work because I've got to get the ROI out of it. So, somewhere it really helps to put that skin in the game. And especially when it comes with money, it works. You need upfront capital. What's the ROI? Well, ROI is kind of infinite because you don't need any working capital in the beginning. When you work on building a knowledge-based service business, what you're monetizing is yourself. Essentially, you just need some minimal amount of money to put into a Zoom subscription and a few other online digital tools that you might use to do your work. And that's about it. Or you might want to invest in a program like I did, from an accountability standpoint and from being able to upskill for yourself. But that's not a business investment, that's more investing in yourself. And that's how I would look at it. Next, how much effort does it take? Is it worth it? It's absolutely 100% worth it. Having said that, I think it doesn't have to be a lot of hustle and grind. The reason we make it into such a big thing is because our B school education and the large corporate setup sets us up to go down major rabbit holes around technology. I want to build an app. I want to build a website. I want to make it scalable. I want to make sure that it's a big impact and things like that. Those are the things that make it so hard for you to break even. If you stay on track, you stay focused that I'm going to monetize my knowledge, and I'm going to do a service-based business, and I'm going to land paid clients, and I'm going to keep myself revenue positive, you're sorted. You do not need to put in more effort. Also, because you will not go through those rabbit holes and you have someone showing you the ropes and the path, you don't have to get lost, and you can actually do it with just 6 to 8 hours of effort every week. I mean, I've had clients who are mom of two, they're working full time, and that also they're commuting to work, and we're able to do this work, on a phone notes app. Because really, it's not about working. It's about getting clarity. The more clearer you are, the more sharper you are, the faster you will go. Now, why should you listen to me? I am Mansi Gupta, class of 2013. I am Ahmedabad. Now, I have successfully escaped and broken free from the corporate grind. I did that in 2022. Since then, I've been supporting myself and effectively growing my income. using freelance consulting and now coaching. I started off with freelance consulting. My heart was in mindset coaching. So I made that shift while using freelance consulting as a bridge. I want to quickly share my trajectory with you so that you have a very clear sense of how much is possible. Okay, so do you see this? All right. So now, first of all, just look at the transformation. I mean, it's massive. I look like a whole different person. And that is the power of all of the mindset work. And starting a business is the most ambitious personal growth journey that you can be on. And that's the transformation that is possible. The kind of confidence you get when you are fully capable of generating income enough to sustain a great livelihood with nothing but you is insane. I cannot emphasize that enough. So let's talk about my trajectory. I started off this journey in 2021 when I said I signed up for a group program and I started to figure out what my niche is going to be and how am I going to monetize this. By 2022 first half, I had landed some freelancing consulting on the side of my corporate job. By the second half of 2022, I had landed a retainer contract, which means that I was replacing my salary, working 3 days per week for just one client. And that was amazing because suddenly I had a lot of time. And then in the first half of 2023 is when I hired a coach and I started working on scaling my coaching business. So I built my freelance consulting business on my own pretty much. I hired a coach for my coaching business. I created some high ticket coaching packages and started building credibility on LinkedIn. This is second half of 2023. In 2024, I was happily living like a digital nomad, working from Bali in Bangalore. So this all happened within a span of 2.5 years. And I broke free within a year. Like I said, it's really possible in 6 months max. You can achieve this. Now, I know you might be wondering how much of a salary cut I took. The answer is none. I don't believe in quitting your job, being heroic, and struggling financially to build your business. I leveraged my freelance consulting business, and you can look at the growth trajectory. It's far, far better than what it would have been inside my corporate job. Also, quality of life has improved exponentially. So, just the amount of time I have, the kind of well being I enjoy is next level. So, even if the money had stayed the same, honestly, this would have been worth it. So, I hope that this answers. Let's move on to what's the next challenge. I hope that this is kind of giving you a sense of what's possible. And I'm hoping that you're getting excited about it. But I'm also cognizant that all of the questions that came had a lot to do with financial security and safety. And I know that's a big one to solve. So let's talk about the big M problem, money. Common questions: how soon can I replace and surpass my existing income? Can I make recurring predictable income from this? Do I need upfront capital to start? I've already shared short answers to this. So let's dive in to the actual framework that I teach in my program. Uh, and that'll give you a sense of how to approach this area, because this tends to be an emotionally charged area for everyone. Money represents a lot of security and safety for people. So I get it when it makes you nervous and jittery. Which brings us to the first element of the framework that I use, and that's the mindset. The first thing that I would look at working with my clients is, what's your relationship with money? So ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how safe does it feel for you to have a business support your livelihood, and why? Now, typically, I will hear things like business income is inconsistent, I won't be able to make enough money, money doesn't grow on trees, I'm from a salaried background, no one in my family has ever run a business, I can't imagine how I'm going to make this money. Now, here's the thing, okay? What you do for a living has nothing to do with the financial reality you can create for yourself. Whether you're in a creative profession, whether you're in a management profession, whether you're a consultant or a coach or running a business or anything for that matter, money is just neutral. It's a neutral resource, it's an energy. As you change your energy around money, your external reality changes around money. If you find yourself feeling a lot of anxiety around money, it's difficult for you to spend money, there is compulsion for you to save a lot of money, you feel like you will run out despite looking at a growing income trajectory or a bank balance. These are all signs that maybe there's something. And it's natural for us to have that because the previous generation lived a reality where money was a genuine concern, safety and security was a genuine concern. So a lot of this tends to be generational. I'll give you an example of somebody that I worked with, and he was in his late 40s, senior leadership, had a successful corporate career, had a strong financial reality. But when we talked about business, these were things that came up. I don't have the luck or the predisposition to get money. I can get accolades, but I am not rewarded by the universe with money. It will take too much time. I don't give enough to the society for me to earn this much money. I don't deserve it. I don't desire money enough to get that much. I don't want it. Now imagine if money is an energy and if money was a person, would would you want to hang out with this person who feels like this about you? You wouldn't. So it's really about building a more positive relationship around money and removing all this charge around and all this guilt around wanting more money, because guess what? When it's a great resource to have. When you have money, you can do good things with it. You will do good things for yourself. You will do good things for your family. You will do good things for the society. So it's a really good thing when good people make money. That's the first thing that we work on. Let's talk strategy now. How are you going to lower the cost of failure? There are three things that we will do to lower the cost of failure. One, we will start small and we will co create with customers. Because you're doing a knowledge based service business, think of initial calls that you do with customers, and they can be paid or they can be free. Think of it as consumer research, where you're taking the time to understand their pain points, really capturing the words that they're using to describe their struggles, and you're doing the work that you need to do to help them get to the other side of that struggle. So think of it as consumer research where you get paid for the research. And the thing is that it makes sure that the solution that you build, the problem that you solve, the marketing that you use, the language that you use, it's all on point because what you co-created it with your customers, with paying customers, not theoretical customers, which is what most market research ends up doing. The second that I talk about is people tend to undervalue themselves and they undercharge. And that keeps them stuck in a spiral where they are not making enough money. It feels like too much work and you kind of give up. So the important thing is to build a value prop, a transformation which is valuable enough for you to charge a price which is premium enough that allows you to replace your income with just one or two clients. That's right. You do not need more than two clients. I replaced my salary with just one client working 3 days a week. It's very much possible for you to do that. Your predictability. Look at how can you build in more predictability and consistency in your income, because that is going to help you regulate your nervous system and anxiety around money. How I did that is I work towards building a strong relationship with my client and I converted it into a retainer. When you convert something into a retainer, you are going to make monthly predictable income which feels like salary, which is really good for your nervous system, especially when you're just getting started. When business development feels kind of challenging, your brand is just starting to build, you're still collecting credibility. These kind of contracts work wonderfully well for you. Now, the third thing that we will do, we've talked mindset, we've talked strategy. How do you lower cost of failure? Let's talk about freedom number. A lot of people confuse their fire number, which is their early retirement number, with the freedom number. So, what is the freedom number? The number at which it feels okay for you to quit your job. And that is something that while you can exercise the mindset and the strategy, you got to feel into your own body and understand what makes you feel okay. So here's what I advocate most people to do. Set aside a liquid fund of at least 6 to 8 months of your monthly expenses. So, first of all, get on top of your expenses, understand how much you need, your genuine needs are, put a buffer on it, and then set aside 6 to 8 months. If that doesn't feel okay, set aside 12 months, whatever feels okay to you. Understand what are your long term planned big expenses in the next short term. So, keep that kitty aside also. That gives you an additional layer of buffer. You can put money into medical insurance and any other insurance that you feel that you need to again give you more safety. So do you see what I'm doing? I am giving you more and more safety so that you feel okay. If things go bad, you know that there is something of a buffer available for you to bounce out of that situation. And finally, make sure that you have some recurring income, line of sight to a recurring income, so that you can make that transition and feel okay putting in your papers. Let me share a case study. This is someone who is 15 years of experience. She's a mom of two, young family, commuting every day. And her her brief to me was, I don't want to build a big business. I just want to own my time because I want to spend it with my family. And I get it. Like, these are the people that I want to get behind, because these are people who aren't chasing glory and legacy and, funding and things like that. These are people who are chasing quality of life, who want to own their time and want freedom while doing meaningful work. And that's my person. I love helping such people. So I worked with her and we converted her corporate experience into a monetizable niche. It turned out that she's a great bridge between creditors and investors. So we distilled her expertise. She thought that she was doing automation and she felt she needed to upskill in data engineering and things like that. But the fact is that the automation was just one part of the big story that she was doing. And she was someone who could generate investor confidence. And that's a far better, higher value proposition that we were able to distill for her, because, like I said, that was her blind spot. Because she was working with me, we were able to help her see her own experience much more clearly and position her as a high value expert in her niche. So when she started showing up on Reddit with some basic sales collaterals and answering questions, sharing value, it led to her converting some clients. And now she's well on her way to building a consistent income and she's ready to put in her papers. Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine? That can happen for you also. 6 months down the line, you could have your own business, you could have control over your time, you could be doing things that feel good for you, and finally prioritize that health and fitness and well-being that you've been meaning to do for so long. Okay, so this brings me to the closure of this edition on money and finances. The next video, we're going to talk about how you can do this along with your full-time job, because I understand that no one wants a second job while they have a high-pressure job and you don't want to burn out. So I don't want you to burn out either. I very much believe that it's possible to do this on the side, provided you have the right tools and strategies and the support that you need. Okay, so I would love to hear from you. If this resonated with you, or if you have any more money questions or questions about monetizing yourself, hit reply to this email. I read all of my emails. I will be sure to answer your questions. If I can't answer them one-on-one, I will definitely send out a video which will answer these questions for you.